short while ago, as is detailed on your custody record out there, you had a conversation with your mum and you then requested that myself come into the room. Is that right? Yeah. And what was it you told us?
That I killed James. So we walked up to him and we were walking around with him and I took his hand.
Well, whose idea was it to walk towards him?
Mine.
Was it?
Then it was Robert's idea to kill him. And we went outside to the canal.
What for?
Don't know, he said let's throw him in the water. He was persuading him, he said kneel down and let's look at the water and all that, but he wouldn't. Because when we wouldn't get him down, Robert picked him up and threw him on the floor, and that's where he got his bump on his head.
This is a chilling clip from a police interview of a 10-year-old boy who, along with his other 10-year-old friend, murdered a baby for no reason. Please be sure to watch the entire video to find out about this senseless case. And if you want more true crime content, please be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Today's video will be about James Patrick Bulger. James Bulger was a 2-year-old boy from Kirkby, Merseyside, England, who was abducted, tortured and murdered by two 10-year-old boys, Robert Thompson and John Venables, on the 12th of February 1993. CCTV footage at the New Strand Shopping Centre in Bootle, Merseyside, taken on the 12th of February 1993, showed the two young boys Thompson and Venables casually observing children and apparently selecting a target. The boys were bunking their local primary school, something which they did regularly. Throughout the day, Thompson and Venables were seen stealing various items from shops, including sweets, batteries, a troll doll and a can of blue paint. One of the boys later revealed that they were planning to abduct a child, lead him to the busy road alongside the shopping centre and push him onto oncoming traffic. Later that same afternoon, 2-year-old James Bulger from nearby Kirkby went with his mother Denise to the New Strand Shopping Centre. Inside, in the lower floor of the centre at around 3:40, Denise, who had let go of her son's hand to pay for her shopping, realised that her son was missing. Thompson and Venables had approached James Bulger, took him by the hand and led him out of the shopping centre. The moment was caught on CCTV at 3:42. The boys then proceeded to go on a 2.5-mile walk across Liverpool. They were seen by around 38 people, police say, but most bystanders did nothing to intervene. 2 people challenged Thompson and Venables, but they either claimed that Bulger was their brother or that he was lost and they were taking him to a police station. Eventually, the boys arrived in Walton, Liverpool. One of the boys then threw blue paint into the left eye of James Bulger, and then they proceeded to kick him, stamp on him and throw bricks and stones at him as well. They also placed a battery that they had stolen into James Bulger's mouth. Finally, the boys dropped a 10-kilogram railway fish plate on Bulger, and he sustained 10 skull fractures as a result of the bar striking his head. Pathologist Alan Williams stated that Bulger suffered so many injuries, 42 in total to be exact, that none could be identified as the fatal blow. Thompson and Venables then laid a dead or dying James Bulger across the railway tracks and weighted his head down with rubble in the hope that a train would hit him and his death would appear to be an accident. After they left the scene, his body was cut in half by a train. Bulger's severed body was discovered by a group of children 2 days later. I'll now proceed to play you the clips from the police interviews from both of the boys. Viewer discretion is advised because, yeah, it's definitely chilling.
This interview is being tape recorded. I'm Detective Sergeant Roberts. Now, what's your full name?
Robert Thompson.
What do they call you, Robert or Bobby?
Robert.
I think Bobby's a more friendly name. Do you agree?
Yeah.
I just want to know a little bit about you now, okay? What's your hobby then?
Skipping school.
Skipping school, is that right?
That's not a hobby, that's a profession, Bobby, when you do it as well as you.
Bobby, I came round to your house this morning, didn't I?
Yeah.
What did I say to you?
Arrest me.
Correct. What for?
James.
James, what about James?
That you said on suspicion of murdering him.
Well, very well remembered. Did you ever see him in the Strand? You shook your head again.
Yeah.
Bobby, was that on the day that we're talking about? Was that on this Friday? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were going up the escalators. They were coming through the doors that there's loads of.
Who was he with?
No,
Little James.
his mum.
With his mum. He was just running around, was he, James?
Yeah.
Will you tell me exactly what, slowly, right?
He was just like coming in. And then he grabbed his hands and walked up the Strand.
How did he come up to John?
How did he come up to John?
James.
No, he was walking around the Strand.
Who was? James.
The baby.
Was he?
I told him to take him back.
You did what?
Told him to take him back.
You told him to take it back?
All right, Bobby. No, you're not getting all the blame. I'm just asking your son. I'm trying to find the truth.
We always get the blame.
Wait a minute, Bobby. Listen. You see, little James is following you up on stage, right? But on another picture, John, it appears as if John had hold of his hand.
Yeah, well, why are you questioning me and John as well?
John saying to us that he wasn't down at the Strand.
But we were.
I know you were at the Strand, but why should he lie to us by saying that he wasn't in the Strand? He's scared of saying that he was down in the Strand because something happened, didn't it?
Not the baby got took.
Yeah.
Not by me.
We certainly admitted throwing stones and things like that.
But he's blaming you for a lot of things.
Yeah, well, why
You
is he
understand?
blaming me?
Well, I want to know the truth right now, the whole truth. There's other things going on, isn't there? I know the truth. I believe I know the truth.
I was there.
That's
You
right.
waved.
Correct, but I know there's a lot of things that have gone on.
Yeah, well, do you know it was me that killed him? It wasn't. I never even killed him. I'm gonna end up getting all the blame because I've got blood on me.
We're asking you, son, and we want you to tell you us the truth, that's all. Not give the blame to you or anything else. But it's only the truth that we're
Yeah, but
concerned about.
Johnny threw a brick in his face.
Can we just go through slowly, right, what John did with what, right? You said he got hit with a brick first, did he? Then, what did he do?
Another brick.
He threw another brick.
2055.
Will I be able to go home tonight?
We don't know yet, we don't know yet. And I want you to tell
Yeah, but I
me.
don't need to answer any more questions, do I?
Come on now, Bobby.
Yeah, well, I do want to kill him when I've got a baby of my own.
I'm trying
If I
to...
wanted to kill a baby, I'd kill my own, wouldn't I?
Was he able to talk?
No.
James,
Yeah.
what did he say to you?
I want me mum.
He said that the two of you were in the Strand and that you saw the little boy.
We never. Yeah, we was, but we never saw any kids there. We never robbed any kids.
So you were in Bootle New Strand.
Was you in Bootle Strand?
Yeah, but we never got a kid, Mum. We never got a
Mrs. Venables, would you...
I must ask you not to get angry with it.
I never got the boy. I never killed him, Mum.
And he said that you took him by the hand and led him out of the Strand shops.
We never. He's a liar.
Calm down, my gosh.
All right, come on, look.
But the God's honest truth.
God's honest truth, I'm telling you that we never. He was too scared. He was probably too scared.
A short while ago, as is detailed on your custody record out there, you had a conversation with your mum, and you then requested that myself come into the room. Is that right? Yeah. And what was it you told us?
That I killed James. So we walked walked up to him and we were walking around with him and I took his hand.
And whose idea was it to walk towards him?
Mine.
Was it? What did
Then
you
it was Robert's idea to kill him. And we went outside to the canal.
What for?
Don't know, he said let's throw him in the water. He was persuading him, he said kneel down and let's look at the water and all that, but he wouldn't. Because when we wouldn't get him down, Robert picked him up and threw him on the floor and that's where he got his bump on his head.
What were you gonna? Why were you taking him to London Village?
Don't know, he didn't know what to do.
You walk along where?
To the train track. We took him on the rail shop and started throwing bricks at him. I didn't throw any bricks because Robert said pick a brick up and throw it. I just threw it on the floor.
What was Robert saying while he was doing all this?
He was saying stay down, you stupid dick and all that.
Why did he want him to stay down?
Don't know. Wanted him dead, probably.
Where did the stones in the bar hit him?
In the head.
And you said the bar knocked him out?
Yeah. Onto the railway track.
And what happened then?
No, he was just lying there. To finish now because I can't speak anymore.
10-year-olds Thompson and Venables were subsequently charged on the 20th of February 1993 with abduction and murder. They were then found guilty on the 24th of November, making them the youngest convicted murderers in modern British history. They were sentenced to detention and remained in custody until a parole board decision in 2001 recommended their release on a lifelong licence, aged 18. Their identities were also changed. Venables was sent to prison in 2010 for breaching the terms of his licence and was released on parole again in 2013. In November 2017, he was sent to prison again for possessing child abuse images on his computer. My thoughts straight away on this case is I'd like to offer my condolences to the family of James Bulger. It was a horrific crime that was committed and I can only imagine what the parents are going through. On the actual case itself, I think releasing these two kids in 2001 doesn't really sound like a good idea. Venables was actually arrested again as early as 2017, so he might even currently be in jail. And we haven't heard much from the other guy, but I think Venables himself, I don't know if he should ever be released again, because after doing that at 10 years old and then being caught in 2017 with child abuse images on your computer, I don't think the outside world is the place for this guy. I think he needs serious help. He needs to be in one of the institutions that are all across the UK. But yeah, I don't think anyone like the taxpayer should be paying for his benefits and stuff like that. It just doesn't sit right with me at all. The actual case was massive on mainstream media in Britain in the 90s. I wasn't actually born when it was happening, but from what I hear, it was massive and one of the biggest things that have actually ever happened in the UK. On the two kids themselves, they're skipping school at 10 years old. I think that says enough by itself, and I think in today's day and age, something like that wouldn't have been allowed to happen, and I think some sort of authority would have intervened, I'd like to think, but then again, that was just in hindsight, so I'm not too sure. But yeah, I think all the information's out there. I think you guys can make of the case what you will. I don't think there's anything particularly insightful that I can add to you. But yeah, I'd just like to thank you guys for 300 subscribers. I genuinely appreciate it. And RIP to James Bulger. And we hope something like this sincerely never happens again.